Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wake Up Report. And I don't know what's more disgusting, the little savage that the school system allowed to attack other students before they finally came to the aid of this kid before he got knocked unconscious, or the fact that adult stupidity is far worse than these wild little savage kids that have just taken over these school systems. You would think that school systems across the country, because there isn't anyone I can imagine that did not know about the Amy Anita Joyner Francis situation where Trinity Carr and three other girls attacked her, and as a result of attacking this girl, she died. That schools would be a little bit more alert when it comes to what's going on. Not to mention the fact that you have cameras in the bathrooms, so you can monitor what's going on. And this little savage is allowed to run roughshod over the bathroom, and it's always after the fact. You know, after this kid gets knocked out, after these other little savages kick him while he's down, then you finally get some adults in there. Apparently nobody monitors the cameras that they've installed in the bathroom to monitor the kids, so things like this don't happen. And it's just one set of ridiculous circumstances after another, with the adults being at fault more so than the kids. That something always leads up to this, and then we always get the people on board who want to talk about prevention and now help that you can go get in the event that you're being bullied and all this kind of stuff. And I just can't imagine. For any of you out there, what were you thinking about at 8 years old? I can barely recall any memories at 8 years old other than playing and just doing what kids do. The fact that an 8-year-old committed suicide is just beyond me. That the suicide at 8 years old would never have entered my head, and that just shows you how worse off these kids are, because of these 90s babies, because of these wild little savages that are allowed to just do what they want to do in public schools, out in the streets, just all of it. And when are adults going to finally say enough of this garbage is enough and do something about it? Now, apparently, school life for this kid was so bad that rather than go back to school and continue to be bullied and stomped on and beat up and attacked, he took his own life at 8 years old. That's just mind blowing to me. At 8 years old, when I first heard about it, and the video has just been released, and this happened back in January, I believe, which really lets you know that the school did an excellent job of trying to cover this up and hope that it would go away. But thanks to this kid's mother, it did not go away, and I hope it does not go away. Oh, and once again, black people have proven to the world that black lives do not matter to black people, because initially when this happened, the only protesters you had out there were a couple of white parents who were protesting on behalf of this kid. Not like a lot of kids, at one point or another, you were bullied by somebody, and I was bullied by somebody, and you just didn't know what to do about it. The teachers wouldn't listen. You're just kind of like in a corner. If you weren't a fighter, you just didn't know what to do. So you go to your father or you go to your parents, and so and so is bullying me and whatnot. My father told me point blank, learn how to fight. All right, you want to deal with a bully, this is how you deal with a bully. If the bully is bigger than you, because bullies usually are bigger, and bullies usually are cowards. They try to find the smallest, weakest people to pick on. But if that bully is picking on you and you are smaller than him, you are weaker than him, well, you equalize that situation by picking up the biggest, largest, heaviest object you can find and knocking the cowboy crap out of that bully. And my father didn't use the word crap. Basically, learn to take care of yourself. And I mean, these days, man, that type of fatherly advice is just non-existent for a lot of these boys, man, because they're just, all they are raised around is women. And that's, I'm not knocking the women for that, but it just, women can only teach boys so much. And it gets to a point to where if that man is not there to take over to deal with certain things, these boys just don't know how to handle themselves. And it's like, my father told me, you're not going to win every fight, but let the other guy who won the fight know he was in a fight. And 9 times out of 10, he won't bother you anymore. And he was right. So the next time I was bullied, I picked up the biggest, thickest book I could get my hands on. And when I got through pounding that bully in the face, it's like, oh, well, I may get my ass kicked, but, at least I got my shots in. And that bully didn't bother you anymore because he knew you would fight back. And this kid probably just wasn't a fighter. But when you have a situation where adults make it worse, the adults don't intervene and do anything about it. This is absolutely ridiculous that a child would be allowed on camera to just hide in the bathroom and wait to attack other kids, and an adult does not immediately jump on that situation to prevent any of those attacks from happening. I hope that this boy's mother, I hope she sues this little savage's parents. I hope this woman sues that school. I hope she sues that principal. I hope she sues everybody connected with this who could have done something and didn't do anything. I hope she sues the state of Ohio. I hope she sues as many people as she can get her hands on. I hope she files a $300 million lawsuit. Now, I take that back. Make it a $800 million lawsuit. $100 million for every year this kid was alive. And I hope other parents, because the other 2 parents whose children were bullied in this same school system and the school system didn't do anything about it, I hope they get together and have the wherewithal to get together and file a class action lawsuit against this school, the principal, the security, the state of Ohio, because that's the only way, apparently, that somebody does something about situations like this, is when you finally sue them. So if anybody resides in the state of Ohio, if you listen to the Wake Up Report, why don't you do me a favor and you make sure that the parents of that child and the other parents of children who were bullied by little savages like that in the bathroom, make sure that they listen to this show, because if they haven't thought about suing, I want them to know every single option that they have when it comes to suing anybody and everybody that was responsible for that kid being killed the way he was killed. Now, the boy's mother, and who, by the way, the boy's name is Gabriel Taye, she says she's vowed that this is not just going to go away, and she is going to continue to speak out against this. Well, whether you want to or not, you have officially been made an advocate, against bullying, against violence against children, and I hope you and others like you get together, take this all the way to Washington. If you have to take it to Washington, take it to your state representatives, your local representatives. Make people accountable for this mess. We're not making our officials accountable for things like this. If you can't do anything else right in this country, in this world, the least you can do as an adult is make sure that children have a safe place to go where they can learn, be safe, be happy, be secure, and be away from these little savages in training that are going to grow up to learn to rob and steal and kill people as opposed to getting an education. There needs to be a uniform, standardized policy that cuts across state lines, that cuts across county lines, that applies to every single person in the United States of America when it comes to protecting children, when it comes to bullying issues, when it comes to violence in schools, or if adult stupidity and adult incompetence is simply going to reign supreme throughout the school systems in America, why don't we just add death to the reading, writing, and arithmetic curriculum? This is KTM and the Wake Up Report saying think a little bit. It will do wonders for you.